Hey guys, we made it to 2024, but so did the recession. Everyone thought that the recession would hit in 2023. Obviously it didn't. And to be honest with you, the economy is not doing as bad as we thought it would be doing. It's also not doing that good. Let's not go that far, but you get the picture. Let's jump into the video. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about why the recession in 2023 did not take place. Why was it delayed? And is it going to happen in 2024? I'm going to break that all down for you in this video. So you're going to find all of that in this video. So if you could please like and subscribe, I would really appreciate it, as it allows me to share my research and my knowledge to more people. So I'm going to break it down into 4 reasons on why the recession did not take place in 2023. All right, so the first one is the automotive industry. What we see with higher interest rates is generally lower car sales. Now that's because of a number of reasons. When there's higher interest rates, it generally means that the car loans that you take out in order to finance the vehicle, it jumps to over 10%. And honestly, sometimes it's even 20%. Depending on your credit score, it gets even worse. Now, if you actually look at the statistic on how many people purchase their new vehicles with financing, surprisingly, the majority of buyers chose financing, making up 79.7% of all buyers, which means that obviously the rest of the buyers are either going with the leasing options or they're deciding to pay it fully. Now, here's the thing, again, with higher interest rates, fundamentally, textbook wise, the car sales should have dropped. They should have, but it didn't. In fact, the opposite happened. In 2023, the car sales actually increased when you compare it to 2022 or 2021. So that speaks volumes on how comfortable the consumers really were with their savings. So that's going to be the first reason. Let's move on to the next reason, which is capital spending. So what capital spending is it's basically what companies are willing to invest in, let's say computers or machinery or more equipment. And again, with higher interest rates, capital spending was supposed to decrease fundamentally, but that didn't happen either. Instead, 2023 was a great year for companies like Nvidia, for companies like Apple and Amazon. We actually saw a massive jump in the S&P index. If you look at 2023 January 1st and 2024 January 1st, S&P gained a lot of ground. So that speaks volumes again. We also saw the S&P make massive gains over the year of 2023. Even though it had a lot of pullbacks, it came out at the top in the end. So companies were able to make money and reinvest their money, making it into capital spending. Now let's move to the third reason on why the recession did not take place in 2023, and that was because of the tight labor market. Now the labor market might have single-handedly stopped the recession from happening in 2023, and let me explain why. When people are employed, they make money. When they make that money, they want to spend that money. Even though a lot of it goes into savings, they spend a lot of that money that they make. They make that money and then that goes into companies. Those companies use that same money to increase their capital spending, so buying more resources for themselves, and they use it to buy more shares of their own and buy more shares of other companies. So it stimulates the market. Now the whole process of this money cycle that I just mentioned, it all works to stimulate the market, and that goes completely against the recession. When you want a recession and the economy is stimulated, they're not going to work out. The economy must not be stimulated for the recession to take place, and 2023 was the year that the economy was booming. And last but not least, the reason why recession did not take place in 2023 is the savings that Americans had. You see, Americans have always had a separate account which is called a savings account, and they've always had a healthy amount of money stored in there. It's supposed to act as a cushion when they face tough times, like a rainy day fund. Well, let me just say that savings account got a lot bigger when the Fed decided to print $13 trillion in response to the COVID relief fund. So keep in mind, the American savings accounts were already big enough, but now they got even bigger. So what does that mean? Well, that means that with the interest rates and with the inflation, Americans were better suited to survive in that economy. And so they did. They not only survived, but some would say that they thrived. People were taking trips to Europe. The airline industry was doing really well. Again, we mentioned car industry were doing really well too. The only thing that wasn't doing well was the housing market. The reason why is because housing market is completely affected by the interest rates. and the rest of them are not. Now, the real question becomes, how long can Americans go for? How long can their savings keep them up? How long can they keep buying cars? How long can they keep taking trips to Europe? When will that last? Well, let me just tell you this. Americans are not going to be able to hold off interest rates and inflation in 2024, and that's said by analysts. So analysts are the ones that claim that. So what that means is 2024 is going to be the year. Now, you see, the biggest indication that we have for a recession is the negative yield curve, which is currently pointing towards a nasty recession. Given that the yield curve chart has predicted the last 10 recessions perfectly, I believe we ought to realize what's coming next and we better prepare for it. Now, let me just tell you this. Here's how you'll know when a recession is about to hit. Car sales will decline. Home sales will stay stagnant. Employment will rise. Companies will start losing shares and profits will decrease. And gold will start rising. That's exactly when you'll know that the recession is finally here from 2023 to come and say hi. So let me know if you'd like a video on what to do when a recession finally hits. What can you do to safeguard your money? And I'll make a video on that. So until then, like and subscribe to the video. I really appreciate you watching till the end. Thank you very much.